morning, everyone. I'm Annie Lee. I'm Head of Business Development at Arbon. Arbon symbolizes our commitment to a greener future, stripping C away from the word carbon, which becomes our name Arbon, to represent our mission to remove CO2 from the atmosphere. Also, the Latin name of Arbon has a meaning of happy trees. Current CO2 emissions from human beings is 40 gigatons per year, and Department of Energy plans for a reduction of 50% by 2030 and net zero by 2050. And direct air capture of CO2, DAC, can help achieve this goal. In 2022, the Inflation Reduction Act was passed, which was one of the historic pieces of legislation that built foundation for DAC industry. It created a $1 trillion per year market, and with that, we can now claim $180 per ton of CO2 captured from the US government. The current problem in the DAC field is the high temperature usage. This high temperature is directly related to the high energy consumption, and even worse, it can cause material or sorbent degradation. So instead of using heat, Arbon's solution is to utilize water to drive the CO2 capture and release mechanisms. So our sorbent stands in the air like trees to capture CO2 from the wind. Once it's fully loaded, we put our sorbent into the water, it releases CO2, and we can collect this high concentration of CO2 for downstream utilization or storage. We then take the sorbent out from the water, dry it in the air, and it can capture another cycle of CO2. So our novel chemistry developed by us is patent protected at Columbia University. This technology exhibits the same level of effectiveness as other leading DAC technologies in the market, with much lower energy cost and much longer material life, which drives down the cost of DAC significantly. Arbon was founded in 2023, and we have won recognition from well-known institutions. For example, we are the winner of the Tamer Fund, and we have been supported by the CTV. So far, we have raised over $1 million of non-dilutive fundings and $4 million of pre-seed funding from Grantham, Renaissance, and Toyota Ventures. So this is when our unit is in operation. Our sorbent can be loaded onto the mesh, and it can capture CO2 from the wind. The CO2 is depicted as the yellow particles. And once our sorbent captures as much CO2 as possible, we then close our chamber and introduce humid air or spray water to help release this captured CO2. In the outlet stream, we will have the concentrated CO2 ranging from 5 to 100%. Since Arbon utilizes water instead of heat, we have the least energy cost among the materials that are available in the current market, such as strong alkaline, quinone, amine, guanidine, and physical materials per mole of CO2 captured or released. So if we translate these technological advantages into the energy cost, we have about 6 times lower energy usage, about 100 times longer material life. So we have about 8 times lower overall CO2 capture cost. The total available market is $8 trillion per year. Since Arbon targets US market, it's $1 trillion per year. Our core business model is selling carbon credits, and the estimated cost can be as low as $75 per ton of CO2 captured. And we have a potential pathway to drive this less than $50 per ton. This calculation has been reviewed and verified by Frontier, which is advanced market commitment, aims to accelerate CDR technologies, and they help evaluate this company's techno-economic analysis. Other business areas include selling high concentration CO2 for downstream utilizations. For example, greenhouse fertilization, cement and concrete, mineralization, and sustainable fuel. So this is our team. We have Dr. Xiaoyang Shi as our founder and CEO, myself as head of business development, Jason Kumon as senior mechanical engineer. We all have at least 5 years of background in the DAC field. Arbon is thrilled to have these exceptional advisors on board to support our vision. Dr. Klaus Lackner as our technical advisor, who is also known as the father of DAC, and Andrew Chang as our general advisor. So far, we have also built up partnerships with these following organizations. For example, with Frontier, we have signed a pre-purchase contract to deliver 200 tons of CO2 by 2026. And we have won NYSERDA grants, which was one of our first relationship built with the government. So far, we have built up 1 gram per day and 1 kilograms per day prototype in the past half a year. Now, we're in the process of building this 100-ton per year prototype and looking for partnerships with CO2 storage and mineralization companies. By this fall, we will have an automated system of these 100-ton per year system, and we will keep building up the team, especially the executive teams and scientists, so that we can keep developing our solvents. So by March 2025, we are planning to have multiple 100-ton per year prototypes, so that in the following summer, we can locate in one of the DAC hubs, such as Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, or Texas. And we'll move on to the next round fundraise. So if you're someone who's willing to bring positive impact on our planet with Arbon's tangible solution, we would love to hear from you to build happy trees together. Thank you, everybody.